Mm. Mm. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dady 4 Stars Radio TV, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, with the information to keep you safe and productive in every society you belong to. It's another beautiful day. We're going to have some great conversation as we do with our panelists all the time. And today is just a wonderful day. I'm so excited that we have one of our prominent person in our motherland who is going to be our guest today to deliberate on some few misunderstandings or some few misinformation. And he is one of the persons that everybody listens to when it comes to anything about the PO and then the right things we do in our country. When it comes to politics, he is everywhere, and whatever he comes out with is concrete that nobody can throw a challenge on him. And so, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, call your friend, call your neighbors, and tell them we about to shut it down from across board. 4 Stars Radio TV, we always say, be informed and make a profit, get an option, and support. That's why we give it back to our community. So this is a live event right here in the state of Atlanta, Georgia, USA, with Dady 4 Stars TV. We come across and take all your programs, and now everything is digital. So make sure you're calling us on all your programs. It doesn't matter how far you live here in the Metro Atlanta and also across board, because everything is now computerized. We say a big thanks to technology that wherever you are, you can access to us, and let's do it great and do it big. So support 4 Stars Radio with every information you have, and call us. We show up with every gratitude we have to make sure we got your stuff going on, as well as anything that will benefit to our community and the entire world. So today I have our guest. So let me go and then I introduce my guest today, and you'll be amazed. There are so many few things we want to learn from one and only Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO. Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO, welcome to 4 Stars Radio TV. Welcome.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having myself, my voice on your network. Yeah.
You know, thank you so much. I have one of my friends who always calls your name here when we're having a program. So we are much excited that, you know, sometimes we need some of this information, and we find it very difficult to get the resourceful person. But you have taken the time to be with us. I'm so excited.
Well, anything for God and for country.
Amen to that. All right, let's begin with recently the independence. We know Ghana is 67. We're 67 years old. If we say retirement, we've already retired. Now, looking back and present into the future, do we still have a hope to depend on our own? Do you see that coming?
Well, thank you very much, my brother Dady. And let me first say hi to all your listeners.
Yes.
Because it's always important to acknowledge our audience. And so my regards and my respect to your audience who are listening or viewing or watching all over the world. Like you were saying in your intro, everything now, because of the computerized nature of our communication in the world in which we live in, you're in Atlanta, but I'm sure there are people listening to you beyond Atlanta and elsewhere around the globe. And so Regards to everybody. Yeah, but so now to your question, and so now we shoot into the interview. Yeah, 67 years of Ghana's independence. I'm not too sure if the founding fathers, Kwame Nkrumah and others, will be too proud of where we are, because I'm sure 67 years ago, the vision was much more direct, more organized. But of course, we've had many upheavals, ups and downs that have affected the vision. And today, 67 years down the line, I'm not too sure if we are still holding on to the vision of the founding fathers. In all my narrative, and I'm humbled by your introduction also, and all the accolades you poured on me. But what drives me? What drives my politics? What drives my psyche? What drives my nationalism? What drives my patriotism are the words of our national anthem and the pledge. Unfortunately, we have not drummed the words well enough into the psyche of the nation. We leave the anthem normally for our football matches, international football matches. Beyond that, how many times do we sing the anthem? But the words of the anthem, they are spirit and they are life. God bless our homeland, Ghana, make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility. Make us cherish fearless honesty. And for me, this particular line, cherishing fearless honesty, and to help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. These are the talismanic lines that continue to drive my sense of purpose. And you talked about hope. So yes, I'm still hopeful that there will be some new dawn that will shoot us, exponentially to a certain level of development that we so desire. So I cannot live without hope. And so yes, I'm hopeful that Ghana will make it considerably. Of course, I mean, every nation has its challenges. The United States has its challenges. I mean, Britain has its challenges. Europe have their challenges. I mean, look at what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. So nobody is looking at a Utopian state, a Utopian, not Ethiopian, but Utopian, Utopian. That so, nobody. I'm not a dreamer dreaming of some idealistic world. No, I'm a realist, and in that realistic mindset, I have hope. Yeah. So that's my initial take on the question you asked.
Okay. Okay, hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you just join us, we are talking to Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO, who is fighting everything possible for one and only person that is coming is in the pipeline. We're going to ask him, and also who has been in the politics front for a very long time. So we are talking to somebody who is knowledgeable and experienced when we come to Ghana politics. So we asking about the 67th independence of our great nation, small country. We have everything, but we still struggle for almost everything. So Mr. ANYIDOHO, let me ask you, why is it that Ghana police always keep silence on allegedly dead of poison cases in Ghana? Allegedly, that's what I say. Allegedly.
Good. So I'm happy that you have clarified it. So I don't think that they keep quiet on all cases. No, I mean it's not the case. So Of course, you have to report the case to them. If you don't report the case, how will they know? So it depends on what really happens, and yeah. So they don't keep quiet. I don't think they keep quiet. They don't keep quiet.
Yeah, but
Of course, a lot of the issues also. Of course, a lot of the issues or some of the issues also. Yeah, I mean, if like I said earlier on, if you don't send the case to them, first of all, how will they know? I mean, and we live in a society where people prefer to be hush on certain matters. It's like the matters are taboos. We don't say it in we don't say it in public. If you say it in public, you're going to embarrass the family. And so with that kind of mentality, you know, you're in a country and you're Ghanaian just like me. And you know, I mean, we keep blaming government, we keep blaming politicians, we keep blaming, but so going back to my issue of the mindset, what we actually need in Ghana is a mindset transformation revolution. It's not going to take, even if you plant the United States in Ghana today and take Ghana to the United States, if the mindset is not transformed, the United States you plant in Ghana will become Ghana, and the Ghana you take to the United States will become United States because of the different mindsets. And let me just give you a typical example, but I'm still answering your issue of the poison and the police and whatever before when we come to the main issue you want us to discuss, because I know where you're getting to. But talking about the mindset, so we are all sitting in a bus and we are going to travel from point A to point B. Now at the bus terminal, what we call here the trotro station, you can find an akpeteshi seller or a woman who is selling hard liquor right within the precincts of the bus terminal. The driver is sitting there and he's gulping down lots of alcohol. He allows what we call here in Ghana the mate or the conductor to be getting the bus loaded. When the bus is full, the mate or the conductor runs to the driver and says, "Oh, Masa, Kanayama, the bus is full." Now, when he's about to get up and go, the woman or the lady selling the liquor now says, "Oh, Mami Mao for the road. Let me give you your last shot." Now, within that same audience, you have people who are supposed to be supervisors at that bus terminal or the trotro station. We call them bookmen. Here locally, we call them bookmen. Now, all these people are watching these things happen. Then the bus driver gets onto the bus, the trotro. We begin to move. Now, when you now decide that you are noticing that he's not driving well or he's reeking of alcohol, the moment you begin to raise the issue in the bus, the other passengers now tell you that, "Masa, we are too known. Media me pentemo, mude un pentemesi. Ana na wankasa wanko to car ntinem." Now that mentality, the next moment, breaking news, they say some people have been involved in a fatal accident, blah blah blah, so many lives lost. Then now you start blaming government, you start blaming the police, you start blaming the ambulance service. And where's the ambulance service? But the question is, the individuals themselves, to what extent did they protect themselves? You live in a compound house, one tenant is misbehaving. Immediately you decide to talk. If you're not careful, the landlord says, get out of the place, because that maybe that tenant is paying some good money or gives the landlord some freebies that you don't give. And so it's about the mindset revolution and mindset transformation that we need. And it's all within the four corners of the anthem, the words. You come to the national pledge. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers. And I pledge myself in all things, not in some things, in all things, to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. To what extent do we uphold and defend the good name of Ghana? And it starts from our little communities. Our little communities. And I recall working with the late President Mills as the Director of Communications at the presidency and presidential spokesperson. And one of the things that we were working on to help transform the psyche of the nation, if he had lived and gotten a second term, unfortunately God called him to eternal rest within 3.5 years, and so many things have happened and surrounded his painful death. But one of the things that he was going to do was that when he gives appointments to people, so for example, he appoints you as minister in charge of communication or information, he was going to now demand of you to come into a covenant with the Republic, not with him, with the Republic. So after you take your oath of office and you are signing the book at the presidency, you will now present to him, the president and representative of the people of Ghana, a line within the pledge or the anthem that you are going to use to covenant with the Republic, owing allegiance to the Republic, and staying true to the mandate that he is giving you to serve the Republic of Ghana. You get it? So, and it's just going to be within the anthem and the pledge. Now, for me, like I said earlier on, the line I was going to take is to cherish fearless honesty. So anybody who comes to my office, that's what you come and see. I cherish fearless honesty. I cherish fearless honesty. I cherish fearless honesty. Now, before you say long, all across the country and also at our missions, our foreign missions all over the world. So for example, in the United States, we have a mission in Washington and we have one in New York. That's the United Nations mission. So within 1 year, 2 years, you can imagine the extent to which words of the anthem and the pledge, different portions, will begin to speak to people and their conscience. Because if you come to my office and you see that I cherish fearless honesty, and your idea is to come for us to loot the state or sabotage the state, you will come 2-3 times and you will see those words in my office. It will begin to speak to your own conscience. Charlie, the guy, if you go to his office, all you see is Charlie, cherish fearless honesty. How do you now go and put up a proposal to him which says that, Charlie, let's loot the state? Because immediately you start, I'll first tell you that, my brother, have you read? If you read, have you read what is hanging in the office? And this comes from the national anthem. And I'm here because the nation has given me the opportunity to serve. And you are coming with this agenda. Well, if this is your first time, I will forgive you. Maybe you didn't know But please just don't come back to my office with this agenda again. By the time you do that to 10 people, yeah, 3 or 4 may not change, but 5, 6, their conscience will begin to speak to them. And if you can get even 5 out of 10, that's 50%, my brother. We are in business. So gradually, I believe we will get somewhere. That is why, irrespective of the political divide I find myself on, because I'm looking at the bigger agenda. Today, people, even on my own side of the divide, think that I have swapped colors. I have not swapped colors. The fact of the matter is that they didn't know me from long. If they had known me for long, they would have known that I am not a petty politician. And that's why President Mills identified me and called me personally to work for him. And I have no regrets ever working for him. And I will continue to thank him for the opportunity he gave me to work for him and the republic, the country I love so much. And there's still work to be done for the glory of God, or to the glory of God. And I'm going to do it without fear or favor.
Wow. That is, ladies and gentlemen, you hear the words from the house's own mouth. And those of you who just joined, we are having this conversation. This is a conversation with the one and only KOKU ANYIDOHO, who has been the spokesperson we all know from the time of President Mills, who he calls him his father. But before we go on to the next question, if you have any comment from whatever we are discussing, you can post it on, and we are going to ask Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO to give us the answers. And let me welcome my panelists today, and then we'll continue with our interview, or the few questions I have for Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO. So let me go and welcome Mamiama. Mamiama, welcome to the show. Mamiama, can you hear me? Okay, Mamiama knows the rules, so she might probably put it on a mute.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Mamiama. Let me go to Wafayao from New York. Wafayao, welcome to the program. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and who is next? I think Francis. Francis, can you hear me?
Yes, Daddy, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good, D. You know, technology came to meet some of us, so we found it very difficult to, make these imbalances here. But I think I'm on the right channel right now. And who's next? Kwame Boafo, can you hear me?
Yes, Daddy, I can hear you loud and clear.
Great. So everybody pay attention, put the phone back on the mute, and let's have this conversation with our great personality today, Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO. So let's go, Mr. KOKU. This about our 67th independence we just celebrated now. How has Ghana's economy evolved over the 66 years since getting independent? And also, in what ways has we tackled corruption from your point of view and your experience?
Well, thank you, and a special greetings to your 4 panelists, since you're going to be having a discussion with them later on, and I wish them well on this particular program, and let's see how we can continue to discuss the way forward for Ghana. I mean, this is our time, and this is our era. Mm-hmm. Some people started, we are doing ours another 15, 20 years. I mean, if God grants us, and I wish all of us will be alive, another group of people will be doing what we are doing. So this is our time to do it, and do it to the best of our abilities, to just serve our country and serve our God. So yes, the economy, I mean, like I'm saying, it's challenged. When Kwame Nkrumah began this whole journey and the agenda of, indigenizing everything. So you had Ghana Airways, you had Ghana Railways, you had the Ghana what the Black Star Line. You had Ghana this, Ghana that, Ghana transport, government transport. Everything was government, and it was centralized, and government controlled everything. Even state farms. We had state farms. It was all state. Of course, over the period, things have happened. The change in governments, change in military to civilian, and all the things that happen. The state is no longer in control of many things. Then we got into the market economy, whether we've gone into an overdrive of the market economy. We've moved from the Cold War era to the post-Cold War era, so you don't have that, great jostling for hold of countries the way it used to be in those days. So times have changed, and as times have changed, systems have changed. You're talking about technology. At the time of the birth of Ghana in 1957, we didn't have this kind of technology. So the new era, the modern way of doing things has come with its own challenges. So there's a lot of comparison. I can sit here in my office in Oyarifa, and within seconds I can go online, get information immediately from what is happening in the United States, elsewhere. Quickly I can do the comparison, and then I think that USA never had its dark days. But they had their dark days. The days of not wearing shoes, the days of the discrimination. South Africa had its days of apartheid. Nations have gone through torturous times to get to where they have gotten to. But because of modern technology today, we just compare what's happening today and we forget about the history of nations. What happened to the history of nations? We are only 67 years. What about countries that have been running this democracy for what, thousands of years? And suddenly we want to be like them, or we have to be like them? So it's about cutting your coat according to your size and believing in yourself and your abilities and what you have. But of course, it's difficult. When I was born, there was no mobile phone. Today, my children have to come to school with something you call tablet. Because if you don't get them the tablet to go and they are learning something, computer, then they are left out of the class. In our days, we were lashed in school. You get hit on the butt with a cane. 6 lashes, 12 lashes. Today, they say they don't lash children any longer. If you do that, they say it's child abuse, all kinds of things. It has impacted the nation in several ways, including the economy. What happened to not glorifying corruption to the point where now we glorify corruption? And we found so many names for it. We found so many ways of glorifying corruption. There's one epithet, one word that people, they say the person is a lobbyist. So the person is lobbying for something. And it's not the lobbying doesn't happen for free. So that's become a job that people do. They say they are lobbyists. So they are lobbying for contracts, they are lobbying for this, they are lobbying for that, and they become middlemen, and they have to be paid for the job they are doing as lobbyists. Maybe in some jurisdictions they have perfected the lobbying, and so it's well protected. Here, it's not well protected. So what happens? So politicians themselves become lobbyists. And that is one umbrella under which corruption thrives. Because you must connect somebody to somebody, to connect somebody to somebody, to connect somebody to somebody. And within that chain of connection, it's all about money and money and money and money. So the money that must go to building the public latrines, the money that must go to building the public schools, the money that must go to building the public hospitals, a huge percentages or huge percentages are paid to middlemen and all these lobbies. So times have changed, and the times have impacted differently on our economy. And gone were the days when the state was solely in charge. Now the state is not solely in charge, and where we are now, the state cannot be solely in charge, because that's the world economic order today. And so within that sphere of the new times in which we find ourselves as a nation 67 years down the line, we have been hit by many challenges. Of course, in the most recent times, we all know what happened to the world. I was in China in 2019, came back just before COVID started in 2020. And so I'm 53 years now, by the grace of God. This is the first time I'm experiencing a pandemic. The whole world came to a standstill. The whole world came to a standstill. Planes will not move. People were stuck to their homes. And in fact, people are still stuck to their homes now. We have still not come out of COVID fully. And so within the last 3-4 years, the world economic order itself has faced serious challenges. And Ghana has not been left out. Ghana has not been left out. And we just continue to pray and hope that we can find some stability. Yes, we ourselves have messed ourselves up in many ways. Illegal mining, what we call galamsey in Ghana, has come and killed our water bodies. And politicians, traditional leaders, because the lands are owned by the traditional authorities in most of the galamsey mining areas, and they are not government lands. They are owned by the traditional authorities. How did these foreigners find themselves on these lands with these excavators that don't walk? They don't have eyes. They don't have legs. It is human beings that import them into the country. They drive on these our roads into these forest areas. And then we all wait when the river bodies are brown and people can't get fresh water to drink again. That's when we remember that we have sold all our lands to illegal miners. So, like I said much earlier when I began the presentation, the mindset transformation, the mindset revolution, if we don't all get involved, the politicians who come 4 years and go ain't gonna solve the problem totally. We ourselves must get involved.
Okay.
So all these lands that are going, cocoa farmlands that are going to these supposedly illegal miners, you go and take excavators and you say you have burned them. You go and take excavators and you say you have burned them. The next moment, another set of excavators are in the same areas. And like I said, the excavator, we don't manufacture excavators in Ghana. So somebody imports them into the country. They go through a certain process of coming to the ports. Somebody goes to clear them. And then they move on the roads. Because illegal mining doesn't take place in Accra. I don't know of any illegal mining site in Accra. All the mining sites are outside Accra. So how do the excavators get to those mining sites? So it's a big problem. We're just praying to God that and honestly, I mean, so you wake up and there's a projection in Ghana that if we're not careful in the next 20 years, 25 years, we may start importing drinking water. Because we are killing all the water bodies that used to give us the Ankobra, the Densu, and all these water bodies that used to give us water. I just came back from Israel about a month ago, and the Sea of Galilee, the pristine nature, and how it is the source of water to Israel, and Israel sent some of that water to Jordan and to the Palestine region, even to Gaza, where the fight is, because they have maintained a certain level of civility when it comes to managing the water body. In our case here now, no. Then we say something is now called pure water. So we agree that there's impure water or dirty water. So now we are producing pure water. Even that so-called pure water, you go to factories and they are producing this pure water in people's bathrooms and in bathing buckets. And then they put on the market, they say pure water. Only God knows how pure that water is. So we are challenged as a nation. And you see, back to the governance issue. That is why, for me, one of the things that I'm still holding on to and fighting here is the issue of the Constitution. You see, the 1992 Constitution, because we're still talking about Ghana and the way forward. The 1992 Constitution came to serve a certain purpose. As we move on, and it's not Ghana alone, many other countries worldwide, the Constitution is a living document, just like human beings are living beings. So the Constitution is giving birth to at a point in time. It has to be breastfed. It crawls. It walks. It begins to run. As it begins to run, you will find challenges within that space.
Okay.
Talking about corruption, for example, one of the biggest challenges we have within the Constitution is that the office of the president, I'm not too sure, but the office of the president, the level of freebies. So per the current Constitution, 1992 Constitution, the president, the vice president don't pay tax on anything. Even what you call gift tax, only God knows whether it works or not. So if I'm an immoral president, I can import so many things in the name of the office of the president and then give it to my friends and cronies to sell on the open market and make astronomical profit. Because anything imported in the name of the office of the president is tax exempt. Now, President Mills, who happened to be a tax expert, an economist, a tax lawyer, governance expert, having run our tax system, the then IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, for close to 10 years before he became vice president, saw the excessive challenges in the 1992 Constitution vis-a-vis helping us manage our governance processes, managing corruption, and building the economy, creating internal local revenue that we can use for developmental projects. And I say it and the records are there, that in the 3.5 years that he was president, we didn't borrow a dime from the international market. Not a single dime from the IMF, nowhere. It was after his demise that his vice president, who became president, began all these things they call roadshow. And they are proud. They say they've gone for some roadshow and they've gotten some huge loan, and that has become the order of the day, because that is the easiest way out. But there's another way of doing it. And there's evidence that it has been done before. And the man sought to change the Constitution, work on the Constitution, not change the Constitution, but create the necessary, stable pillars as we move forward. And one of the issues that the Constitution Review Commission, moving around the country and elsewhere, put out was the fact that Ghanaians agreed that the president and the vice president, the office of the president, must begin to pay some amount of taxes on certain things. Because every year you come and read budget to us, and we are supposed to be paying taxes as citizens, yet you don't pay tax on anything. So apart from all the free things you get, free accommodation, free this, free that, you don't pay any tax again. So where is the equity and the fairness? And so those are some of the things that President Mills sought to review. Ghanaians agreed. The work was finished. The white paper was presented. Then he passed. Vice President took over, became president. 12 years down the line, if you ask me where that white paper is, I don't know. And when you ask those questions, then people think that you have no right to ask those questions because then you are saying things against your political party. Now, if Ghana does not exist, will political parties exist? You have to have a functioning country first for political parties to be able to exist and operate within that geographical entity. Yet, some people have decided that because you say you are NDC, you have no right to say anything negative about the NDC. And vice versa, if you are MPP, you have no right to say anything negative about the MPP. And that is the mentality that is killing us in this country. But I refuse to think that way. Because I keep telling people every day that nobody recruited me into the NDC. Nobody recruited me into the NDC. I was not recruited by anybody. I was growing up in Burma camp as a young boy when May 15th, 1979 happened. When June 4th, 1979 happened. When 31st December 1981 happened. Nobody told me those stories. My little eyes beheld the stories of the time. Growing up as a little boy, because my father was in the military, was a military officer. So I saw what happened in 79. A lot of those people who were tied to the stakes and shot, I either knew them casually as senior officers to my father, or I was in school with their children. A typical one is Major General Odate Wellington. His children were in the same primary school with us, Kutuka Primary School. Subsequently, I was in Achimota School with Minerva Kute and her siblings, and this is General Kute's children. Vice Marshal Boachi, Yao Boachi and Co. We knew them. General Utuka, Justina Utuka and Co. We knew them. So when I speak from a certain orientation of knowing friends whose fathers died in those revolutions. Very unfortunate, but it happened.
Okay.
And if I got attached to the revolution, which moved on to become PNDC and NDC, God forbid that I'll forget that the revolution came for a certain purpose. Yes, it may not have succeeded, but I will not betray my conscience and now sit down and say that I'm part of a certain system that has lost its coloration. I will not be part of it. No.
But Mr. Anyiro, this is some story that needs a whole day, because I would need you for all this education that you brought into this matter right now. But because of and any time restrained, I wanted to touch on bases. I just have one more question for you to answer in some few minutes, please, and then let's go. Yes,
yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
It's about the LGBTQ plus. This is a matter that is staggering in the country. Everybody's talking about. Regardless of everybody's opinion, the parliament has passed this bill. What is your take on that? Is the president going to sign it? When is he going to sign it? Is not going to sign it? What is your take? Because you have also say in this matter. So touch that basis on it for some few minutes, and then I will reach out to my panelists. Thank you, Mr. Anyidho.
Well, thank you, Dady. Well, Parliament represents the people, the 275 constituencies, and so they represent all of us Ghanaians in the legislature. And so if Parliament has agreed, then technically Ghanaians have agreed. And so they are sending it to they send the bill, or they are sending the bill to the president for him to assent. I keep telling people that when President Mills was alive, the British government at the time it was David Cameron, Prime Minister, who tried to push Ghana into a certain corner. It just took the president to speak authoritatively and say, no, Ghana is not going in this direction. You can keep your aid to yourself. We will not compromise our values. We didn't have to go through parliament. The authority of the president was enough to put this matter to rest. But of course, over the period, successive presidents have prevaricated on the matter. They keep cavorting on the issue. So you keep cavorting on the issue. Some people decide to put up a private member's bill up in parliament. It's debated, it goes through, and all the drama surrounding it. But if you ask me, you say personally, my brother, people have their orientation and they agree to do certain things, but to want to foist it on a whole nation is challenging, because I have read certain aspects of some of the things that they attempted to introduce. And if you begin to tell people that even sanitary pads that traditionally has the image of a female on it, that you are now telling companies to remove the image of females from sanitary pads, because when you do that, you are discriminating against men who also use sanitary pads. What kind of society do you want us to build? If you are saying that children cannot go to school and say, I have a father and a mother, because in some homes there are two men and then there are two women who claim to be father and mother. So now you are removing the father-mother thing from school registration forms. What are you doing? That suddenly you can't have male and female bathrooms in schools. You should just leave it so that when I wake up in the morning and I feel like a female, I can enter the female one. In the afternoon, when I feel like a male, I can enter the male one. Massa, some of the things that people want to introduce on societies, it will be very chaotic. In that sense, this thing wants to regulate that kind of chaos. That is it, because people have not bothered to. It's not just about two women consenting or two men consent. That one, otherwise, who really cares? We can only pray for them. But when you want to turn it into a certain level of system of existence, like I said, that even sanitary pads take off women from it, or the female figure from it, because some men also have become female and they use it. So if you do that, you are so how come you are discriminating against those who want to do that, but you're not discriminating against those who don't want to do that? So those who don't want to do it, they don't have a right, or what? It's only about those who want to do it, so they have rights. Those who don't want to do it don't have rights. I mean, come on.
So is the government
society like that?
Is the government going to sign it or not?
I don't speak for government. I'm not the government spokesperson. I'm
okay.
not at the presidency. But
okay.
Like I said, the parliament has passed it.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional authorities are for it.
Mm-hmm.
Religious leaders are for it. And when I say religious leaders, not only Christianity, Muslim clerics, traditional people believe in traditional prayers. So people are for it at all levels. In fact, there's a case running now where a communications professor, in fact, she was one of my lecturers at the School of Communication Studies in Legon, is having a problem with a whole traditional society in Zima traditional society, because when she tried to speak about this thing and trying to say that, look, let's not legislate on it, and that certain communities in their traditional way of living have always projected LGBT, she went and mentioned two traditional areas. I will not make that mistake. And one traditional area is giving her 7-day ultimatum to come and pacify them, or else she's in trouble. So please, like I said, internet and computer and digitalization has allowed us to communicate in real time across countries. It doesn't mean that automatically and immediately overnight everything that exists over there must exist here. And that's my position.
Okay. Okay, Mr. ANYIDOHO, you know what else can I ask you? What else can I say? Ladies and gentlemen, listeners across the board, this is Dady 4 Stars Radio TV, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, with one and only Mr. ANYIDOHO. You know what, Mr. ANYIDOHO, thank you and thank you. So we have a lot to talk about. This is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning. And hey. It's for, like I said, it's for God and country. I respect those of you out there who love Ghana, love the country, keep discussing us. So, hey, anytime you there's time, just give me a heads up, some advance notice. We'll program and I'll be ready to join you guys.
Okay, yeah. Before you go, I think Mamiama had a question for you, and maybe my panelists also. If anybody has a question for you, just let me know. But Mamiama, you asked first, so Mamiama, let it go. Your question you want to ask, he's right here with us.
Thank you so much, Mr. ANYIDOHO. This is the first time I've heard your voice. I've seen so many things you've done, but this is an opportunity for me to maybe give you my input or just a suggestion or something that could help in future. Now, with so many things that you said, I do agree with it. But there is something that we are lacking in Ghana. On growing up, I saw Ghana as one of the most disciplined countries, that we projected ourselves in Ghana and everywhere as, the top or number one in the world. Now, my thing is that I think the government is not doing well when in terms of policy. Like you gave an example, saying that somebody could sit, a truck driver could sit at a place where they sell drinks and then drink and then start driving. In America, even the beer that you bought is wrapped in a brown paper. Hello?
Yeah.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, yeah, I'm hearing you. Yeah, we're all hearing you.
Beer,
mm-hmm.
Even the beer that
I couldn't hear,
you drink is wrapped in a brown paper. Nobody in America will give you a bottle of
the line went blank. I've not heard her voice.
Okay, Mama, hold on for me just 1 second. Let me say this because Mr. ANYIDOHO is not hearing your voice. Mr. ANYIDOHO, is it okay now? Is it better now?
I can hear you. Initially, I was not hearing you too, but now I can hear you. But
you
I can't
can hear me. Okay, Mami, speak again. Let's see.
Mr. ANYIDOHO, can you hear me?
It's not.
Can you hear me? Okay, maybe I'll say it and then Dady K repeats it to you. So what I was trying to say is that I think the government is not doing well at all in implementing laws, because in America, just driving will take you to jail. So I don't see why somebody will be drunk and then will be allowed to drive. This is just basic policies. Now, something like when I first came to America in New York, I was like, what is this? Where am I going to? Until I visited other states. But the basic thing, they do worse things in America. But the basic thing that holds us today in America is just little bylaws. Don't throw the paper, don't throw your trash on the road. If you throw it away, you're going to pay $1,000, and that helps. So we don't have to wait to implement the Constitution and everything before we can be a country. Then another thing that I wanted to tell you to put in is that I think that I believe that Rome was not built in a day, and I know that we will get there regarding when the youth and other people will have a change of mind. But to be honest, I think this corruption and everything starts from the top, and that is why people are allowed to do it on the street and everything like that. I will not hold your time, but I think this is something little that I want to chip into you. Thank you.
Ms. ANYIDOHO, did
and
you?
Also to let you know what you said about the barracks is true. I was there. I'm a barracks girl too, so I saw everything too. Thank you so much.
Ms. ANYIDOHO, did you heard the questions?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, she was saying about the drinking. Even here, you cannot. There's no way you can even hold a beer. I'm talking about abroad, and especially here in United States, because you cannot even hold a beer whilst you are driving on the road. If you are pulled over, you are in big trouble, and also littering, like throwing trash and all those kind of stuff on the road is also another issue. And when you are caught, you find yourself in a big, and talking about we don't need parliamentary approval to put all these things across board, and so some of these issues. What do you take?
If I had a friend of mine just came from Ohio.
Okay.
Over the weekend, we buried his mother here in Accra, and we were in traffic, and so we were going with the ambulance, the hearse of the mortal remains of the mother, and with the hearse and with the siren and everything, it was still difficult. Some drivers didn't want to pull over, and he was saying that, look, in the U.S., if you did that and there was a hearse coming with a siren and you didn't pull over, you get fined about $1,000, because apparently I don't know whether maybe that's the state of Ohio. Maybe I don't know whether
it's everywhere.
In Atlanta, Georgia.
It's across board.
Okay.
Yeah, it's across the states.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that the mentality is that is the last respect you can pay to the person. So you need to give way for the hearse. I didn't know. I mean, of all my years of traveling, I didn't know that there was any law like that.
Yeah, that's absolutely, it's absolutely right across the nation. Yeah, that's what it is.
But here in Ghana, even for ambulance carrying sick people, emergency to hospital, sometimes it's a struggle because the drivers just don't want to give way, and nobody finds anybody.
Wow. This is unbelievable. I don't know when, but little drops of water make a mighty ocean. We might probably begin in some way, and we is going to end up in some way. So that's going to be it. Anybody else? Oh, let me even Jessica, welcome to the show. I'm sorry, I could not recognize you initially, but I told you because this computer stuff came to meet me, so sometimes I can flip it off. So Jessica, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, we're speaking to Mr. ANYIDOHO. I know he is the person that you always call Mr. ANYIDOHO. This Jessica is the man who always blow your name on this program, and today you were here, so he's also here. He might probably have some questions for you, but let me go to Kwame and Wafayao, if they also have some question for once we've had you with us today. Wafayao, do you have any question for Mr. ANYIDOHO? Everybody, if you have any question, just let me know, and then you can, because he's right here. We heard it from the horses on mouth. Wafayao, it's your turn now.
Oh, I don't have any question for him. Just my greetings to him.
Okay, all right, good. Wafayao has nothing. Okay, let me go to Francis. Francis, what do you have?
Let me care. I don't have any question for Mr. ANYIDOHO. I know the NDC people are trying to maltreat him because he speaks his mind. But I'll advise him to be firm, and he's a good man. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. ANYIDOHO, did you hear him? Did you hear Francis?
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear when you greet them and they respond. I can hear them. Like initially when you welcome them onto the program, I heard everybody, but suddenly I can't.
Everything disappeared. Okay, all right. Yeah. My technicians are working behind it. Okay, let me go to Kwame. Kwame, do you have any question for Mr. ANYIDOHO?
Not really, Daddy K. I don't have a question for him. Just greetings, and just like Francis said, in this political life, some people just trying to be oblivious of facts and be political, but I don't see that with ANYIDOHO. So I will encourage him to do that, because we all want Ghana first. It's not political party first. It's about Ghana.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, Kwame Buafu says, he's just encouraging you to do the best you're doing right now, and also to wish you well. Yeah. Yeah, well, fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to make a little addition. Something just cropped into my mind. All along when I heard the name, I thought the father was a Professor ANYIDOHO who was sitting in Lagos. Today I got to know that the father was rather an average. army officer. So that's it.
Oh, okay.
I was
Okay.
always referring to it that the father was a professor who was teaching English in Lagos.
Oh, okay. Now, Mr. Nyidoho, you thought Wafaya something. He said he thought your father was a professor, but now you've made him know that your father was a military officer in the camp. So, good thing. Now, one more thing for you to go. What is your piece of advice to all of us listening to you right now? Just a short one, and let's go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't say. I mean, if you say piece of advice, it will be sounding too condescending.
Okay, your final thought, your final word.
Exactly. So, I mean, first of all, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to engage on your network. I mean, it's the first time, and I think I like the level of the interview, the tenor, the tempo. Very often people call and it's like they are calling you because of a set agenda, but this one is more of an open discussion, and I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's broad, it's about Ghana, it's not pursuing anybody, it's not pursuing any skewed agenda. It's a broad discussion, and that's how it ought to be. And I believe that once we continue to engage in the supreme interest, we may not get it right all the time. I mean, no, there's no perfect human being or perfect system. But when we commit ourselves to a certain level of broader agenda, more of Ghana. That's why I started with the anthem and the pledge. Once we begin to commit ourselves to this better Ghana agenda, gradually, we will get somewhere and impact our generation before our time is up, and then hopefully hand over some useful baton to the generation that will come after us. So those of you out there, we appreciate what you also do out there, your love for country, consistently also trying to engage and to keep us on our toes, trying to let us know of best practices elsewhere. Of course, the remittances that you send home, that helps the economy. Nobody can downplay it. It helps local economies. It helps national economies. So hey guys, I mean, it's all about Ghana. Let's continue to fly high the flag of the country wherever we find ourselves.
Okay. Thank you, KOKU. The ending is say it's all about Ghana, and all of us how to do likewise. If we all have the mindset like him, I believe in no time Ghana is going to take its better mantle, and we are all going to enjoy the fruit of our sweat, especially in our country. Mr. ANYIDOHO, 4 Stars Radio, the entire world say thank you for your time, and hope to see you very soon for a different dimension and how we can improve the lifestyle of Ghana and how the economy should evolve for each and every one of us. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you too. God bless you. God bless everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Hey guys, yes, finally, we've had the greatest and the best time with our brother, and then our patriot individual. Be a citizen, not a spectator. This is exactly what we've heard right now. So you can make your choice. You can draw your lines in between and see exactly what we are about. This is the nation Ghana. It's our motherland. Everything that we're doing here, we're doing for the sake of our good country and how we can put ourselves together and make it better and make it work. I'm taking a short break. When I come back, I'll go to my panel. This is Dady K.
I don't look like what I have been.
Hello.
Akuya.
Yes.
Eti say.
Boko now swear.
Nyame adom Ghana boko.
Nyame adom boko. Now swear.
Nyame adom me pegana aduane adi wo ho. Enti se wobetumi anya bode ne kontomire ne banche no de abremia enka mani beje pa obi be ba US nyame adom next week.
Na ko de abrel. You.
Enti no o de kekani nyina bom na nipa no ba me de number be ma na wa fro why.
Matches.
Any bye bye.
Matter. Bye.
Hey, would they be a phone tarwa? So, and then if I bunch in a body free Ghana, Bremedian.
A queer my figure and a brand but when him say US answer the editing, so be a Ghana Bianato.
Oh, dear Chrome has a what a hackwa, it's in the air cost so Hanu winning now on say, say, money me way, natural. Yeah, the Ghana by US abroach memo Hanum say, Charlotte to a tropical market. Obenya Niani to say, and wo macro a horunina, a banquaya, a dear good chance him when no subenya be a Maggie, sardine, a horror, bayre, bordie, potato, brodo, and yadoa, a mo, gari, wele, precase, beans, a bro, and toast, milo, coconte, momo, necrampono, upebia, ubenya do a Charlotte way.
A dinner boy and a man baby grow. When a madam will be D who dance at the chairman. Yes, Omoton African way,
Anne, so I don't need the one dance yet, or the Anaya do create rodo, Omoton African way, GT pin to my idea, pam, my shirt, come, a dear pam, manta, dear, a dress, skirt, kawa, sandal, shoes, slippers, any coat, or Mutimisha office, any baby being in a Charlotte to a tropical market, at Tontombi or Honor. I near saw the battle, Sissy, and other battles, and now saw the battle 9 pony Charlotte to a Tontombi or Honor. She share a chirapine, 396 West Pike Street, number C, Lawrenceville, Georgia, 30046. Fryer, what telephone number way so 678-682-3577. Charlotte Way Tropical Market, African, Caribbean, and Latino market.
Your one-stop tropical shop.
You and just your grace, you have changed my story.
Ya san ya ba ye fiti jumedi na say minimum budget for send we na be ya ne opening KOKU ANYIDOHO edin komo evie enti minimum budget for ye beto so send ye na Ghana was 67 Enchebia America to be a chumo akona emu ensemno edoso enti menko mami ama send mu ina mu city no opening KOKU ANYIDOHO wakasa bebre na ninyina Ghana kankro na Ghana ye mu di ntino yes so ye dwendwene ho senia enyama akwakosi nteminko ye wofire
Daddy K.
Yeah. What is saying Ghana at 67. What has changed? What did you see the change in the government in CCR about Memphis say employment, any corruption or corruption index? I mean, we're talking about employment, inflation, and then the corruption index. You just take 5 minutes to wrap it up for me. What do you think? Ghana at 67. What is your take on that, and how can we improve upon that? Yentio.
Okay. You mean employment and corruption and stuff, right?
I obey to 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That is Chia Dikan Chia, and I'm a Chia at Chipuina. I'm a co-panelist in this Chipuina, and the incoming president and the vice, Professor John Mahama and Professor Jinano Pupajima. Come 7 January 2025. Our mobile rescue Ghana, but the Ghana will be there. And Adike, question I will be standing. To be honest with you, governor, governor, to Obama Ubia, bra, nabe improving upon the lives of the people.
Right.
And you know, abaimu ababe a change to predecessor. The USACD no. I improve the life of the people. Emphasis say NDC time emphasis na ye boy body. Enti na wo ye campaign ti ento abama nti wo ba be ye ni. Enti bana wa ba Ghana for be major based upon say only abanda da no. And then wetimi aye I improve the life of the people now a better change the abanda da. Yeah. And question ya wa bisa me so this current government here what ya Kukwado ni ba Umia government no. Sadia ya no mo di campaign yes or mo ba ben ma be. One, some say NDC ne Mahama ye corrupt. Anything they say is corrupt and are incompetent. And you know, corruption was going to be a thing of the past. And the Kenyans are and Juma Semus no Omuba provide Juma mind. But Ghana at 67, as we are saying, as at now, successive government or Mabina under the Fourth Republic, no the improvement are back, Kakaka, their two former could do better. And 2016 under Mahama, near 2 former could do better. But this current government, they dedicate. Unemployment, I will cut almost on by, I say, unemployment situation now rising. There are like in America, in a time 8.4 and 14.7. It's a double rather. So, instead of some big criteria, Jumano, or maybe good banks in now, good banks in now, good banks. What they say? About 300,000 people, youth, lost their job under the banking cleanup exercise. And the taxes, they brebe, make have the good or minus about that. You may unite to be and yes, no matter for Nipa. In the unemployment, instead of saying, maybe criteria, Jumano, or would you mobile so will be good, Juma? Banking setup here, making banks and loans. And now you to know at least 300, 400 Ghana, 500, no munya show mugoto. Or maybe good banks when na my citizens, you know, you to know, and now, more bread, I could to a be yada, a bit to say more munya, a bit call into other business here. You don't have, you have never idea of going to that. You have to go and do it because you have to survive. And now, because say, unemployment are rising to the sense that some of the youth, they eat just a day. You eat 100. We eat also about 2 hours. What did he? And you did the following day now, 100 and a Ghana global. So because unemployment situation now is very high, now you have board the BPR cost and high. You can't even if you have the money you can't buy. Let alone you don't even have the money. So they say you to look pay Juma Omunya. So the other one I'll say unemployment and then
development, corruption, economy. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And you know, they say situation is worse as compared to Mahama NDC 2016. And corruption. About we ban okake so mobile be protecting the public purse. That became part of our kind of way.
Right.
Akufo-Addo elsewhere no. How no catch say I'm coming to protect the public purse. Today, yeah, eno dey we ana. Ke America, ke Japan, ke your friends say PDS and 120 mighty corruption under this government. Uchi omu kwampa no abe clearing agent. Ke boss oil like the amount of fine and yes, man, they no oil no system fire or girlfriend and no table so among after dobbing or no oil no you know no oil canako company BBN Abedi MP. Nancy I that's what about no that the case out here say or no enough money until the other contest one say no was save a lot of dollars out the baby financial. Can you imagine this that case? Such a person when we are free boss and what they are compare and now obie na no can answer me. You can imagine as an ordinary person, a civil guy who serve the government, who just can when a Juma Ben and he came out telling us this, and we have seen a lot. Look at it, corruption there. This government, and I did the other this government, all the governments are under the successive government under the Fourth Republic. And no, Rollins 1 and 2. I'm not saying that there wasn't corruption. There was some 1 or 2. Kufuor, there wasn't. I can't say there was corruption. So, 1 or 2 at Amos, somehow. But Mahama, but this government, the only achievement of Muwani is stealing, looting from the public and breeding of corruption. This is their only achievement, and this is the reason why Omuba because we share Omubibia every sector. Every minister, every what and what are Omuwani Kronum and then the Akoyeti, Oma Bobusia 600 billion. Ubisa Omuse, Daddy K, the Omudi 600 billion, toilet, any polytank, and
all right.
Meanwhile, they said Daddy K, to whom much is given, what is what?
Much is expected. Okay.
To whom much is given, much is expected.
Okay.
Mahama did just about 90 billion, and I've provided Terminal 3, hospitals, markets, schools, 120, 200 secondary schools at various stages of completion. Chief compound, the regional hospitals, district hospitals, Bank of Ghana Hospital, any Yama the three, Ama mine. Emma minus 2 for every provide.
Okay.
When would you move by summer? But we have a cat or say, you have a fit toilet, Amam.
Okay.
To money toilet to do Yamuba Jare near sea bathroom, Mama, from 600 billion. That is it.
Okay.
The government, the earlier the better we throw them out and bring the nation builder Mahama, who is coming to bring the 24-hour economy and change the dynamics of our country. No?
Okay.
Ghana is doomed.
Okay. All right, Joe. What fire no Ghana is doomed under Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. Francis or Francis. Yeah, what is your take? Development, economy, and then corruption for these 67 years in the country. What do you think? Yeah.
All right, Madam Dady. First of all, I'm here, my co-panelists, and say they are all doing a good job. Now, they all want to say, Ghana at 57, what have you been able to achieve as a nation? Let me say, I've been very disappointed with successive governments on how they have tried to develop Ghana. Now, Mekaipa say, some time ago, there was an effort for us to develop what we call a national development plan. Government be about follow. Mekaipa, and that thing wasn't implemented. Indeed, Professor Atames Bae, he also did what we call a constitutional review committee, and they came up with a lot of recommendations. In fact, one of the main recommendations was the National Development Plan, said that every successive government will follow into a very calculated attempt to move Ghana forward. Unfortunately, when Professor Mills died, his predecessor or his successor, JDM, John Dramani Mahama, rejected 95% of that report and the white paper. 95% are Commissioner Professor Matt MSN. Mahama rejected because most of the things in the recommendations were said that it will be difficult for anybody to be corrupt. Now, into why are bringing corruption? Let me say, in the history of Ghana, there has been no single president that has been tagged with corruption than John Dramani Mahama. Into this nation for Ghana, no. It is very prudent. Say we should bear in mind that everything that we do have repercussions. Corruption doesn't only affect a country; it affects posterity. If you would not, or if you are a president and you don't have the initiative, it becomes very difficult for Ghana or a country to move forward. Mahama, he is the only president that has been figured out in a number of scandals. STS, Airbus. In fact, Edubebi Yebisano as a president, Mr. President, can you say in your line of duty, you have not taken any bribe before? Or before I'm saying as a person, and the guy was shocked. Whoa! And Mahama is one person. When we are talking about corruption, never. In fact, he is the only vice president. His president caused him to be investigated. Atamas was so concerned about Mahama and said he set up a committee to investigate the man. In the corruption, Mahama is the chief. But let me say this, as I move forward, that corruption is very endemic, and it is part of our system. Especially in Ghana, corruption is part of our society. Into the way to deal with it is not to figure out people and pinpoint people to accuse. The way to deal with it is to start from the whole fabric of society. Into when I heard ANYIDOHO speaking, I was so elated because yes, me if I am looking at fighting corruption, we have to start from our children growing up. In fact, our culture promotes corruption. Into for example, all those things. It's like it promotes corruption. You should deal with this as a society and not to blame anybody. Now, when it comes to development and employment, Master, I can tell you on authority, since independence, no single government, and I think when we did Yamika, It is there. It's easy for you to verify. When it comes to roads, MPP is the only party since independence acquiring the most roads, the most asphalt, the most interchanges. Man, you can't beat that. Well, now, I know, say, some things are very difficult to verify. But the ban acquiring here, some cases are yet, something to, as Jeremiah, you cannot lie about it. You have to come here and I go for Green Book acquiring, this time, in our agenda, no, acquiring is there. If you go and see it. It's not in the Green Book. Now, they're talking, employment. Master, one of the Manka say it's a misnomer. Say, you know, say, I buy an SO criteria Juma. Debbie, never. Over US has here, I buy a Juma, what the government does is creating the environment for private people to do business and employ people. But when it comes to our part of the world, government should create employment for everybody. It doesn't happen that way. But nonetheless, in the history of Ghana, it's only one party that has been able to employ at a go, more than 2.1 million people. The MPP. In fact, when it comes to employment, in the history of Ghana, it's only one party. And that's me employ young people into immigration, military, fire service, all those paramilitary agencies. It's the MPP. In the employment here, we have performed so better. But we are not there yet. As a country, I'm not satisfied. We need to come to a point where everybody graduating from the university at least have something to do. And that's why I love Dr. Baumia's idea of creating an environment and IT jobs. 1 million IT jobs. You see, the way the world is going, if you don't go with the world, you are going to be left behind. You see, I am not for digitalization. They are so myopic. Like, among what is going on. Very soon, AI will take over our jobs. How are we training our children to be able to come abreast with technology and AI? You can never do that by training people how to use physical things to do stuff. You have to be able to look. Our graduates from University of Ghana or KUSC are computing with people in MIT.
All right, friends, drop mommy. Okay,
it's a bit of a business. The president said, after 7 years, we have a long way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, but when it comes to development, the NPP have been perform better more than all successive government.
Okay, Joe. May that say, Francis, I'll say MPP has performed better than all the successful government. Me come on, Mama.
Papa.
Yentio was already.
Yeah, Mitia, Minian Munya. Now, only maybe. Sir, and this in MPP, no, you who say any papa.
There you go. Obata, Panano.
ANYIDOHO. Yeah. Now, only say, I'm here, be free, Sakasa. And yet, be no kind of I agree with you.
Right.
But say, I'm here, be woman. Me and who say anything here no jaya, not toilet to crown number see ya. MPP never see toilet now. And this is for to call hobby. And as a mama never see airport to crap now. And the MPP for super hobby. That's the concept that we have to have. But this blame game, no, I'm tired of it. Sabi. Well, for Francis or Fred, Mama say, a friend say, or a thief. And that's how I could probably see I'm robber. Because about Fufrona or the plane, you call up and down, all say Sika, yeah, catch say. Who buy you? Sika, the high plane in our crap, or the top plane, in its own name, as a legacy for Ghana crapper, I can fast forward. What the channel? Then that's our money here. MPP, so Obubaye Rose. KUMAH'S, I almost stronghold to Crapuno. A quite back home, be some more. That's why we run about Hoka, omitting here. Oh, sometimes you damn furniture, Papa, you bet there, or 60 year Kunukra, or the Kanukre. say on kasa because you on the hook was saying this no yan kaka who papa ya de na nya you should be able to tell the person say yeah why our fan why chat papa etijai people should be ashamed of themselves and you know what kind of way napco so
napco yeah napco
yeah over thousands of people no and for the club here and then nurses will fear me a member crop will fear private job no akosho she and when they need Johnny ko London oh I am mamu yes Ghana here dim papa Ghana so far and it's because of our leaders we should be able to point it to them say the omoyen enye that for instance so America high way so Johnny they be able to and I'll keep on repeating it so Johnny call a recruitment or we have to dying. They live amongst us. Police for harm dying. Now you can imagine, sir. So they need Ghana. What travelers for 18 years and 25 years. Or Chiadanka. I know Chia a baby. Sana police, Sana immigration, Sana and officers. They're free. It's about 10. A government, you know, balance. No, Obuko see a whole army, a BB, a training center, Cassia. We have the land. Now we are graduate here. Then they will give you incentives. One of the ministers a work from Hayen himself. Omu die with this. Obi atone there Africa. As Ghana, you share the coast. It's also not in the work. You share the car, but on your freeway, free gas. Freeway, now Obi here for that case. Big for Ghana, my baby I want triplets. Or Japan will be Sessica. I want women organization. I can say by this time, couple, send a higher check and a tabloid. As my time I make say, not the ANYIDOHO canal. I agree with it. Better come, certain baby because school. You're not quiet. You buy milk powder, 1 gallon. Yes, some my wheat. Nini amase, moji coffee, namkodi. I beg Ghana with a pride. Not Ghana will be a sabi. That time not you're too free. Bamaka kraba, baby I see. Not buses were your first school bus, never see what test service. You what's not for omni bus. Mama did buses in the bano. Yes, what called brandy bus. It's Yakoja room. We are wasting the country's resources. We are wasting money. Sada mama suba or do suba kasa die a friend say akufa do yeno and to suba jesi say we should stop that. We should stop that. And a year kasa ye do wetino we are not faithful to ourselves. Ye did correct. I'm telling you, maybe I'm a catch place a mama or say or no be winning or baby or be yet or be messy up. I will personally by God's grace, walk into his office and tell him that you are in disgrace. Because right now, no, before they say Akufo-Addo, any Baumia, they are in total disgrace. They are total disgrace to the nation because promises Ninyama Akufo-Addo make TV so, and I'll repeat it every day. Akufo-Addo during COVID also basically 33 hospitals or say 88 foundation away. Foundation away. I am Mumi and John so they ain't can no man costumay because at the end of the day, no, if the conformal as of yes, you can only ever.
Okay.
Then you know Ghana, no Muko school, Papa, no Moya, and me say that it came. I come already, sir. Akwadaba school, free education. It's more expensive than free. Ubako University, I just want to talk back. Connection, I again some, and I'm moving and can kakra.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mate, mamia ma osi yanka no kakra yemie no nyina everybody obi ye we na wojatu wa oba na wabetwa so obi si edware kora na yemie no nyina na yekoso na yeko ehian a yetumi eko na yekokoye ne sene fata enti yeto so 4 Stars Radio TV Atlanta Georgia USA Dady me na medi chame ewo dwumedie mu ye America na so esanse kromo edia ebifa ye ho nti no sisi amene o kasa ekra na maame ama ne busafo ne maame ewo ho nti omana nkoyi a ne botumi hwan mene o kasa yi enne kusiada ofa ya kwadwuma aba maame ama akwadwuma aba wo mo mbe kwadwuma wo mo wo adwuma mo wo adwuma ni nyina ne se ewo se ye buafie nti no se Mani enko ye anase buache kakra or say you can want some ye Ghana for we are being citizen not respected ye or mamba pa and ye be idea for entimenko kwame some funny the brand of ye just for kana yako a year nya etosum no ntene kwame yentie kwame
Daddy K, but you ask no so abusa question because every time I'm for answer and no am dey afifa baby baby to asem na nkasa ntini
Ghana
two question about me.
Okay, Ghana at 67, development, economy, and then a corruption index. What do you think? If I knew KOKU, anything have changed? What is it?
Yes. So thank you very much, Daddy K. Mefa kwan so achia my fellow panelists. I'm this year in February share. Remember be happy new year. Your chairperson NPP US Obaya from Metro. My chairman Atlanta Captain Billy also Metro. Now Mr. Anton Chaka say incoming president Dr. Baumia is possible. And then incoming first lady Ajia Samira. Captain Daddy, we've come a long way. Now I really like the maturity of KOKU ANYIDOHO. I've listened to him a couple of times, and he always appears to be a very honest and matured politician. On the question, the way we answer the question, it was different. Francis corruption it's different. But when we talk about corruption in Ghana, now starting the way this kind of way, you are going to appeal to a certain member of the audience, a certain portion of the audience, because Ghanaians have matured. Ghana for we've come a long way. What I say, sir, finger pointing, say, we had discussed when we don't have anything to substantiate it. No, a chum, I know you're by Jim, a chum. These days, we want to substantiate things, and I agree with Sam Jensen one time. Look, so yes, Mahama, you're corrupt. Mahama, cotton, if you be answered on a letter, so I be corrupt for video man. So what is this whole thing say? Will be person about power. No, Jina baby, so when you come to prosecute, you cannot prosecute that person. It will find policy a Jimmy Jimiana. Because you me ko two bottom and I'm quite all them crack of first crack. Yet me cheme. Now a bicycle Ghana mind tika will be to me fa. Now it was found already. Will be so accusing us to see any power. What power? Who accusing the panel so I won't mean a day and prosecuting the panel. So what are you trying to do? It is that rhetoric of where we can a pin of the past. We have to actually go beyond and analyze how these things happen. And that's why most of my matured analysts are analyzing. So we have to look at our mindset. Francis Kabibi said, we practice a culture of corruption. So if you see my Bibiano, the sociology part will play a role. What is the society behind how you operate? Society behind the culture. Yeah, African society, we glorify corruption to some extent. A problem that we have to analyze it. Say I'm addressing the issue of corruption from the very fabric of our traditional customs and practices. We will be playing politics on the street where we discuss. Francis Eka say he mentioned people who are your road no near the road of Francis Kaya Ubusa, he can provide it to you. Francis never said, so I'm a quine. So I'm a quine, will be an So I would say Ghana has come very long way. 57 years, a year independence parade now. We saw where we have come to. It was very spectacular scenes. We saw Ghanaians from all aspects, all corners, all tribes and everything coming together to celebrate the independence. And this independence could not be better campaigned for MPP, because I was even stunned. Some of the things that I heard that the government has been able to do, even in the midst of COVID. Cars are lining on the tarmac to show cars we assemble here in this country, Ghana. And you say a car factory to be beneficial. Well, we need economic cacribiano. Say a assemble factory. For the factory to even attain economics of scale, for us to even benefit, what is the average year? The company I stumble on the floor, it will start getting demand, and so it will make profit and break even and become very, very profitable. What is the average year? This is the foundation the MPP is building. Now, something you understand, sometimes when people don't feel something in the pocket, They don't look at the bigger picture and the bigger future. I'm saying this today. Say, President Mahama, he has had the opportunity to be a president, to be helm of the affairs of the country. Look at one factor Francis Ereji said. As a vice president, your president even wanted to investigate you. How do we even answer this? And how do we even open the door back for this person? Come here. A man for being who bigger picture movie. So I say. So if NDC was in power, my gut feeling, things would have been very, 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 very dangerous. Because we know how the NDC managed with the dead goat syndrome. We know how they operate. Sure, so we see factory. I'm going to see factory so. Now what's the factory I say? Now all of a sudden, the whole world economy just will be under. The factory no crying, you see in normal. So you see in normal. For how long would it take for those factories to start to attain economies of scale? Let alone a period whereby everybody has to stay home and not have to do anything. Okay. Even the greatest economy, America has to print money.
Okay.
We can't print money. So corruption issue there, we've come a very long way as a country, we have to address it as a nation, not as a partisan. We've mentioned this over and over again. Why?
Okay, all right. Joe, may I say, Kwame Amani, so Nidia, and no Nyansa in your back for Temenkoi, Echa, a Safu, a car.
Yeah, Cobra, and then my main can recruit me do who ya papa. Journalists, and then I cost Ghana. Me do who ya papa.
Ade
Ghana journalists. We are zan in contumpo. Now, we are bias. And the part didn't tell me because me do who ya say Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO. Abasuna and there was sideline me. A sideline me. Na me tiani mana kasa. Me do who ya papa. Na we ya me mobo.
Fachemi.
Honestly,
Nyadia menubedi.
Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO, I'm so proud of you. In fact, I was not given the opportunity just to even say a word to you. But I'm using this opportunity. I'm so proud of you, and you are on my list. Keep on with the trust that you have from me. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You're a very honest man. And I will keep on to be proud of you. Okay. Karamami, medical cancer, I am here. So man can't show I come on your program.
Yeah,
Kafra. And I always mention Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO.
Kafra.
If I'm mentioning it well.
And you're I'm going to call all Jacobs.
I'm going to call all of them because of the wire in me. Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO, Nana B, Mr. Kwabra Dumfe, Mr. Atik Mohammed, Sami Awuku, the new promoted information minister Obano, and now North Kaneshi MP. Sanipa Amabo Mudine, now Mr. Alote Jacob, my uncle, what to say, on any Domura. One of these personalities will cross Ghana to the promised land. Just mark it. Because and then Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO say the man is very brilliant and very intelligent. Man, I love you as a politician. God bless you. I'm so proud of you because you have spoken the truth. And if any politician can come out like that, I think we have a brighter tomorrow. I don't know what to say, Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO. I'm so proud. Okay. Let me tell you this. Corruption. Even developed countries, we have so many ways corruption exists. But it's under a coat, you're shiny suit, abon tie. There's corruption everywhere. And our 67 years as a country, of independence, all successive governments I let Ghana down. I will exempt President Nkrumah Kakra because now you need some experience into one start here, into where he started and where he ended. Even Kebia, you baby, but this military basa rule and the ama ya catch into Dr. Nkrumah, the no person will pass a certain level he was handicapped politically. the Anti-America says successive governments are Ghana are failing in this and Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO aka. And mine okasa from MPP in your friend saying Francis I comment on it. Ghana, what we need now is a national policy. Say national policy because look at Rwanda, even Rwanda, look at the crisis that Omukomu. But say ye can create now ye social media no ye channel through a proper channeler. Rwanda is ahead of Ghana so many years, but they went through war because ye pursue national agenda and Ghana ye the national agenda at war and ye pursue that agenda now and Ghana ye ko ye nim da. And I will always go on to say, and I'm so proud of Mr. Francis Abba sideline with me because during Kumi Preko, me say you kumia and kasabi me wun kwase wu. Because now we knew say mine no experience, mine no the law. Let me fix a mine no with a theoretical aspect. But when it came to practical, I'm so I don't know the word to use. Because constitution no you betina your constitution no bibi because constitution na your Ghana and you dey say Francis and Mr. ANYIDOHO I can say constitution no we have a whole lot of lapses. That constitution say me wo tumi a and constitution no come suspending da because constitution na enwa esa indemnify will be na you are under indemnification because your personalities Ghana says here they can never stand up to hold the Bible so move swear to be president again because of lapses any a minor in contempo adamoni bia omudu o mana famu but because of the indemnity clause you can't ask them questions obi o constitution now what they indemnify your leaders may God punish them. Nipa me curse wo mu pa wo mu a wo ko trans do constitution no mo de indemnity be shame yentimi carbon and obi o wuska no invest cigarette obi num no onum no mu say nipa mienu I will give them to the Lord. If we have a national agenda na a national agenda no obi abeka ekwa obefa so a obe execute sa agenda na nka Ghana ni ba bi eni no nti me sa bogus manifestos should be cleared from the system as soon as the next elections. Let's get something. Hey, everybody, oh my Ghana. Hey, your memo. See, a case ye sorena ya tinasia. Me say I'm a born politician. Me she Ghana. Ubu ha wasu obu PhD. O kasa o radio so me tia me bisa sentini pe wo wadwene. Your book knowledge o. And what nyansa wisdom nyamedia manipa so for somebody might not be even hold a degree but obet me channel Ghana through a correct path. When are we going to sit up as Oman?
Okay.
Now yebe kwaji me say bibi say ba I don't think about myself but because I'm 50 years plus. How many years? Even me walk the next 30 years I will not be living. Okay. What about Ubia Ebe seed one in a yem? Or but now look at Insio, Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO. God bless you for speaking this truth. Look at the water body say Ghana. Some primitive mindset. A woody for Nkontompo a damoni.
Okay, yo.
8-2 asase asensio but you a ban ewo you a ban for ewo munyina madam ho gold diggers onyame wo hu Ghana mobo no won fayen emma ne obetimi akọ de ne nkwa to ho but enye sika no de ne nkwa beto said dachima no beja a legacy is what I'm praying for.
Okay. Made us see Eja Asafaka will be ordinary home betu ho now why legacy to the man of 4 Stars TV Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Dady K mena medicha me wo dwumadiam fakwa wo bia no se wotumiti enka wo like ya na wa share sa ana yenyina e ka no ntimi twa me ho abasisi ana yakọ ofa twato na jize ye free efiduam ha akọ esanse emre eni ho emobia betwa me abesisi Daddy K
Asampayetia Obayansa fusu wo munibia wanka na asam Tema futu sam kakre wa asupeme Yo kofi Omani ya woman Omani ya mamana Yenyi baby ako Wacha ya wareni Wonsom Wanini pa Kasajipa wofyoye Demo yembera ye Ebe ya Ifirena Omani ya umano Omani ya mamana Adiwa ya nobra Nyamichata
Yakoji and Krato Abba and Tino Yen to us so send him we number 1 of 4 stars radio TV Atlanta Georgia Fako your way Medica Akase Wo Bibia Eyabo Modiana Tunsa Fafrain na Yamamisha Jumedian and Femau Bibia we say ya sorry say ya wankasa woto bedini Bibia we biano esa adefo en quantum point fidie nintino woto yen safrain ya pepa ababehwe dwumadie na ama kama enti ye toaso wolaki amunhia monto empete na foforo so ehunu dwumadie a yeso yedi enyese bia ye fiti ase anu yedi esanse ewo se eso eba emfaso ema yenuanom bia ebia wo munya akonya no na wo munkasa ema nindu ebedwom ntino wokyerɛ wadwen a na yakan na je sɛ obia so enya ne ho entiase enti monkɔe wɔfa yaw ho ebiom wɔfa yaw
Sadike
yɛnhwɛ deɛ em sɛ na wɔtwi mu asɛm a aba ne openi John Kuma Deputy Finance Minister we free mu ya na ensɛm a enipa bebre eka eye ewuduo na adentina sa ewuduo wasem mene wo nyina wo fa ya mamiama na nse ya no kofi wo asusu na nse kofi omse sa de we ewo ho na wokura wokwa wo ya ahweyie dia obedi ne obenom ne ade adenti ana sadi we aman hum no so sa ewo omanga ne mo we die ye de tutu yankasa ye ho adentina abanisa ene de ade ena ye timi eya fa ho esanse eni so shepa of maybe so this is personal individual because idea fa ye nyina ho se wo Ghana wo se fi akwentom na akọ dem boni na ye nyina ya ye ebinum ewo manga na mo because ade na ahase na edin say obeti bibia etisa ewo amanoni na so ni nyina kwakoye efie nko a mu onwempa ochese ni petwa adwo ye nyina ye kofi obiesuro ukodidi wadamfu fie jese obi kra ye bibi ma wunsuo kra na wusuro why nti what is happening dia de ne yenyemfa ho wo fa intel.
Okay, thank you very much. No, 5 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me better me use 30-second year correction be. To be honest with you, MPP for say communicators, you know, I'm sorry that man and Mahama at a mercy committee to investigate Mahama. The mutra muda creative masema mo panche mo camp. What is Mahama at a mercy beyond 30 EBRC investigating Mahama over corruption a EBR. This is what they keep on saying. Almost no more creative or master, no they are too public. The public is far ahead of you people with this kind of stories, concocted stories from your camp. I mean, it was almost I think it was today. You can't be a near you, and then a month during our time.
And Mahama, you say, Mahama, inflated way. That one there you were saying it. This time there, in your era, no, we shouldn't say it. You are telling me, say, Bajimbre time. We are still in the 20th century. And you're Bajimbre. Look at the money that you people have looted. And let me quote it from your own people. Kennedy, Japan. Or see the money of government, like Ghana never before. That is the statement he made. They have looted the state and they have taken it abroad to stack it abroad like Ghana never before. That is a statement from your own people. Now you say them baby say where then something there is a proverb like that. This government have no achievement and you have to accept that fact. Stealing, breeding of corruption and looting. Martinami Duklasi President Akufo-Addo is the mother serpent of corruption after investigating going through Japan deal. Or say Japan deal chrono, fraudulent chrono, but we still have you people here. Emmanuel Black family who come here and defend a Japan say Adepa or say a stock exchange chrono. Look at this. Adia Enyano, you Munyan Masako spending $12 million. I bet him provide this school school and there be a shortage of food. But they have spent 12 million on a deal that they say is not good. And Nipa is Kennedy. The new one is coming when Obi assesses KOKU landing. This week, you better Wunka. You see a pro. You better in Kankai. Eba, Gabi or Tredako, Eba Battle. Very good. Mamin cause we know to that case. With the killing of those things in our country, that case, is something among the Ghanaian this thing. Sometimes when we are trying to rise up, our people don't like it. Like we were saying, even if you travel and you don't know it, you could travel now for now to know the one show me cool here. That is the amount.
Right. Yeah. Yet you will be at you.
It is something among the Ghanaian this thing. I don't know why it is like that. They envy people when they see that you are trying to progress in life better than them. What they say. Now with this John Kuma matter, the MP, and that's what they do. A lot of people have been poisoned like that. They say you're poisoning wine, they are poisoning way. Even Dr. Baumian, the boy who did it, the mother was asking for this thing, but they don't know how they have. The mother is asking why the child died in the hotel up to now. Baumian will be hotel or whatever they did there. It's only over to them. And the guy died. Really, a lot of people have died. JB Danko has died. People have died. So many Aliu once and one mama. So many killings. It's what is happening in that decade. Coming to the political arena among the MPP, it is just enviness. That's why they killed this guy. We know that it is through what vice presidential flaw. Who said Don Kumano is capable of rising out to become a a vice president. He can be nominated. In TSC, a man of poison somebody who is also aspiring for the same position who thinks that he should take him out so that he can be there alone and get the position. And to me, the case, like you said, it is something among the African continent, when they see who say we are trying to rise up in some way, rising up to some level via they envy you and they can do that to you. And especially this is what we are seeing in our political arena too, especially among the MPC. That we have listened they have several people that have been poisoned in their party. Why? Just because they are struggling for position. And such a people, do we have to let them lead the nation? It means that at the time will come, they will poison all of us and then we all die. So that the resources. If you poison somebody, what are you heading towards? You are heading towards your own parochial interest when you go there so that you can siphon from the state like they are doing right now, looting from left, right, and center. And now America say, "Uko minister be, omunina ministers need them." Daddy, articulate and I had better to can operate the young Siminka. This is the articulate means, but can operate the answer yet. Allo this what did them. Look at John Kuma list by within 4 years or this. Can you know yes why? Educated minimum to Osaka Bia. Was city dire year millions of dollars within a year. An MP, how much do they pay him? Deputy Minister, 14,000. And I know 14,000 Ghana who convert into dollars. I mean, yes, I'll say $2,000. And he's able to do this within 7 years. What is that? What does that tell you? Are you getting it? And they have seen what they are getting, so they have to kill themselves to rise up there so that they can loot more. They have seen how much these people have looted. Ever under the Fourth Republic, there is no government that have performed abysmally and have looted the state coffers than this Akufo-Addo and Bawumia government. The president is looting, vice president is looting, ministers are looting, everybody is looting in this government. So at the end of the day, Ghana is left a damn pine. That is why our this thing, your friend saying, debt to GDP, I rise up to 104. When we are dealing with percentages, 100%,
right?
And Akufo-Addo alone, Mahama is 66%, and then 104. It means we don't have economy. Daddy K, what's 100% in our economy? We don't have it, and we are there. Ononkasa were failing into the next government in the Ghana, and you want somebody who is succeeding, who is saying is the driver mate. Onono Babaye Ghana, Ghana for Muntio, come 7th December 2024. Just kick away this useless government so that the NDC and Mahama will come and then build the Ghana that we want for us. Thank you.
Okay. So, may I say, Wafaya, no, yeah, can't about a year, John Kuma, near Ababetono, Tino, a binomo, Asha say, can the Sentia Yano Yen to me, and can I say, we're still waiting for the autopsy, but we'll share narratives, echo so no, and a pages say, I say, Wudu, Sa Antino, Ama Yenina, ye actually ye say, ye co. If you say, Timin co, ye Kwame ho, Kwame.
When I ask for Bufu,
yes, Francis, Naka was about Francis, needs for some reason when you soon tell me Kwame home, we are a member, Mamma, so tell yeah, Kwame. Oh, okay.
You love Ghana. Why do you think Daddy K?
The credit
event. Why will come event just to be invited? I will your party outside invite you. Your party, I want somebody to invite you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Daddy K.
Yeah, Kwame. Yeah.
What's a busa question? Camille busa first. Say. We are attributing this man's demise on food poisoning. Have we established that fact? Food poisoning.
We're waiting for it.
We don't have it. So we conclude no by any poison when you are poisoning where it's not factual. We haven't established that fact. But let's look at the circumstances surrounding this guy's death. I saw a video on YouTube or wherever on the social media of somebody who is as a Shamaun to me Nipa. Now we're explaining situation you see here and so what's your narrative I explaining now? Who say he's just talking from a layman's point of view. So what I say, the Mikai from what he said, let's say poison Kumane Chama to me poison or more. I just a Chama to me the na come the power with the no more. It was not the Yanama and Feya and a Kuma there were Nika say and no idea no I see a man that drew na since then and I want to the Daddy K, you know what I do here? I'm a health inspector, I'm into food safety. So when you are talking about food poisoning now, as I say I am equipped to say something about it. One thing I know about food poisoning, and it said the effect of food poisoning is always acute. Okay? Food poisoning is not a chronic disease. Say, when you have food poisoning, now a short 1 to 4, 5, 6 months and that is not food poisoning. Food poisoning, the symptoms may be vomiting, nausea, abdominal cramps, diarrhea, fever, headache. These are the 6 basic symptoms of food poisoning. And what do you do? In environmental toxicology, right? When you take anything that is not good for your system, anything that is a poison, a bad thing, your body wants to fight it. Your body wants to get rid of it, right? And when you get any toxicants in a large amount, your body will repel it through vomiting and maybe that diarrhea and everything. So now food poisoning the onset here say and to how long? Food poisoning. At least would the air poisoner onset could be like immediate as 4 hours to maybe 6 hours. And everything also 2-3 days, 4 days, 6 days. What I say? Food poisoning is not weeks and months because what it is, when you take in food and in toxicology, let me explain this terminology. You have to be ADME, ADME, which is administer, distribute,
Kwame, hold on, ma'am, 1 second. Mami, ma'am, patch off our phone to mute kakra, mami, right? The mute, any what fire for the to mute, I don't know, because it's before it's a noisy pa. What fire also do they not to mute? Okay, all right. Kwame, name say Biana.
Educating about toxicology, poisoning. So when you take anything, BBIFN admit and make an ADME, you administer, it get distributed, it get metabolized, and it get excreted. These are the 4 steps that any poison, anything that is not good for your body goes through these steps. And administer could be the route of exposure, which is, did you eat it or did you inhale it? Did it go through your eyes or did it go through your skin? These are the routes of exposure. So when you have food poisoning, the route of exposure is usually the mouth, okay? And when you have the mouth, we are talking about the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract. It's Arabia, anything associated with the gastrointestinal tract, gastroenteritis, just the disease of the gastrointerior internal tract. And what is this GI tract? The GI tract starts from the mouth to your anus. So your mouth, esophagus, stomach, and everything through to your anus, okay? So if you eat any food that is poisonous, this is the route that the food is going to pass through. So at every stage, it depends. Every stage, anyhow, it will behave. Okay. So the food will not go. The food now will dinner your poison. And now we 6 months. So baby will food anymore. And it's going to get absorbed into your body. And now it's no more food poisoning. It's going to be something else that is in your body. But food poisons, normal food poison. But before that, yes, I can't food poisoning in the say. So when you're food poisoner, there are 2 things. The food itself could be poisoned unintentionally, based on how the food was prepared, who prepared the source of the food, the utensils that were used to prepare the food, was there any source of cross-contamination? All these things can make a food poison without any malicious intent. And the food naturally not cry poisonous. For baby to say chicken. Chicken comes with salmonella, which is in there. That's why we cook food before we eat it. And you have to cook food properly. And you cannot mix raw food with cooked food, especially you have cross-contaminated the food. You have poisoned the food. This is not a malicious intention. It's unintentional poisoning of food. And this thing that happened to these people in the north, if I have some more time, let me say, it's the plight of the everyday Ghanaian. Everyday Ghanaian is poisoned by food. But when it happens to high-profile people, that's where they say a malicious intent. People go to public places and eat and get sick every single day. If you have the record from the hospital, they tell you how many people come into the hospital every day from eating bad food. It is a problem. We have regulations that anybody who handles food has to be certified, have a self-safe certificate, knows about food safety before you can prepare food for the public. In Ghana, a lot of people prepare food for the public without having any idea of food safety. And politics assemble, now people want to politicize it and just say anything they want. That is fine. But we have to be assertive. Okay. We have to go down to it and look at, is it a problem in the country? What is happening? Because we look at the root cause and find a solution. We don't politicize it. This is a national problem because a lot of people cook for the public. They don't have certificate. They don't know anything about food safety. Most of these food come naturally with the bacteria and viruses. You have to cook them well. You have to make sure that you don't cross-contaminate these food. So that is what I would say about the food poisoning. We don't know what has happened, but the circumstances surrounding it has nothing to do with food poisoning. If you know about food safety.
Okay. So, Midase Kwame, I think say we will get you more on this food safety in the nearby future to talk more about it, because I think you are knowledgeable about food safety. We've been doing 1 or 2 mistakes in it every day. I'll get you on that. Me come Mama.
Papa.
This year the talk on this into the maninko.
Oh, that's a good year for no. I was there. I am not MPP from home. It's a share BB to say. COVID time I buy is come with baby. Omokopa Nigeria ni machine base up to now no accountability.
And also food poison no one.
Oh, the baby. Some so make me
okay.
Most of my kind of boy. It's 2 minutes. National Cathedral, Jessica Namudisi. As we watch our boy, would himself a pay with your whole needs and scan out making Cathedral. As would you have been now say, would you see National Cathedral and the fire go see her? Okay, Siciano, food poison, my make me. Analysis are a good, but wouldn't it be? We are not looking at something, but every they say or can't say. Would to be bodyguard as some can insist to say, who would you have and the Pakuni did their neighbor according to him, dear Mika, I don't know. What might me Uncle say? Oh, Papa no Obayano, while Father Suon or done in who, or Chia, I see my sister me paid your name. According to Amono, up to now, hotel for no, and to me, and ye, but wouldn't be. I get where I can, said Debbie done a womb. Sabi, your mum penny pointing me now, baby, and that say, oh, you for 1 minute in Puma, Jamie Dankwa. And so you see that the body, no. I mean, the minimum hobby, me, as my minimum, me is stupid, but the material, no. Apart from that, in that case, Kromoha, be a year involved in where Sanya Mawaya. First thing, I see a chick to me as a suspect. Near two boys now, as I know. Your judge, I'm no money, no more come. 7 Diomope. Now that is a casa food boys. You if you say you will be withdraw. I before a bit more friend took back a little bit show mu. I be cool kaka. Media, I didn't say me who no. Sabi, the medium kakra as yes kakra by no. Oba Timino will be credit. I'll bet me a poison the park. Maybe I wouldn't send a over proportion into no. Would you know? Oh, February. About a bad reaction, but where the idea would you maybe out the same telephone and no, and be a sure say a gross war on the material. Again, as you see, you may find some politics. Again, now, Mr. Daddy K, Friday night off the whole day, makes me sorry. Miss Suya, such a nice guy, 45 years old, the year in the mark. Sikaro, we are once, when we are to see a property, you'll be able to me and free. Sana Ghana here. Oh, the material, but what could I ask? Yamio Hatasuro, Odini Psadi Pakoni D, Odini D, our 2 minutes. So, I say, Takradi girls, Omujiraye. A whole police officer by Drown say, well, who girls up to now, you're changing it. Officer America Hankra, Sasamu Bessie. And then a Yankee, Tama, Sule, I'm a swag as me by a crap on. Papa John said, Young Chinumpo. Oh, it's a yen, sir, a diano, and I did in Kofoyakum, how I Yakubu, and she said, in Germany, baby. And Kofoyakum, because everybody knows that, yes, you mean your machine. Yeah, what who look up on that? Well, now, says it on that principle. Oh, Bobo, so send them upon the air. Yes, today. Yes, interrogating. Baby, yes, and now also say, yes, interrogating Debbie, that parent 200, yeah, no, that parent 200. Why hasn't he that the Pakuna better TV so yobu ya or the protecting the boss, so also fee and the fire go say, you don't do that. I can so say, now a seminal, yes, some go say, now, I say that decay, as somebody who is that because some more better, chia autopsy for Emma, there will be no evidence. I'm telling you, Ghana. If you know what they do now, that's the case. We young so politics. I'm saying, yeah, you better training academy now. So our politics can poto and yes, Anna, Kwame Nkrumah Nibuzi Almutre, Ukebia, Namasuma Kebi, Ukebia, Namakebi. Na yedi na we die di pokumni ya katakata nkofo so ni kete katakata mo so obi ba wo akwo obi ba mo ya hu Ghana mobo ya hu Ghana baba na obi nyami betuamka. That's the bottom line.
Mate me da say ma say yen hu Ghana mobo kakra obata pano no ya nyami betua obi bia ka senia bonia ewo wutrimo no ubetwa nia ugro menko ejasafaka na mfemvi mami ejasafaka
kwabra me da was mami ama mo ne kasa before because question the main kasa nche ewo ho sa man wo no nti me pese me hate of fire kakra me man answer me
hate no say why you dey
young politician mami fa baby kakra because I akoda of fire
when you akoda sa
yeah say wo kasa mami wo politics mu on yenyina yesua well man you chen wo kra ba ye me ba but let me tell you a very top secret where government biano when him loopholes I work constitution mo over transona ye the constitution mo na nimdiefo komo they know all the loopholes. Let me tell you, you can do nothing when the current government, the president in Ifua, because war government 1992 soldier ban the constitutional and we are Canada indemnity clause into the current president and that will be free office no, he's under indemnification. There is nothing that you can do to that man. Let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you this. America on my power, and it will be difficult say on my be me a challenge and I will bet me a the status of United States of America. It's a very country where it's advanced. The whole world, this country is ahead of every country like over 100 years. Share. It's time that we have to sit up as Ghanaians and call a spade and axe. Share. The media fraternity is not above anything. Media has got limitations. Media, it has a level that it has to play to. But Ghana no, me feel say obi ewo no ye outspoken. We feel say that is the world and that is media. It's not like that. Papa ma wo say and say me or ye me papa. Wo ye me wofa. Wo ye me nua. I am saying you need to an movie. I don't know how authentic that it is. And kasa media personalities in Ghana come no bet so papa. Here, the Biameka says me, or Mampenino Tisu says, I accord him, I respect him, he's a president, I don't care. But Papa no pa ne time emra. Ekoseno, I am it maybe some say, and I'm just trying to say me as individual, me will come be a meeting me Ghana and Penifua court against the constitution because me pesenka age limit we have to tackle it before you become a president. Well, with this 70 years and above, you don't need to become a president. I'm just thinking of this. I have some of my classmates who are judges in Ghana. I'm going to call them from tomorrow. Maybe someone say me, some individual, meet me do a. But what I think now, even if I'm going to Ghana, I'm going with a American passport. So I don't know. But maybe so because here. Say yan trase na ya mayen hunu se emra eye adwuma wo man mu a hwe papa ye wo sesi ai obi atimi abetena ho se ya poison no ye America awurade nka wo so ye media man ka betu piga no mayen set up na yem putu emra no yemam emra nya adwuma hwe se papa no mi fa se poison ye de akunu a na se wo ye media man na wo information about it. Let the postmortem report emra. Eba na ofi say argument here. That is why you tackle the report. But wo ultimate you know me can say obi this year we see a poison no. Na obi to no afan ho di say me na me media personality. Me say obi ewu ya poison no. Hey, can you do even papa no grandson ye be uni from but magufu nanimu ase. What is that? Look at currently there's a doctor Who died? Who nobody pesika? We have to sit up as on mine. Mama ye mu yamamre, mama ye mu on mine no. Idru babia, mama ye mfre dadwa se eye dadwa, mama ye mfre key se eye key. Na ye mo on mine no. Oh, de bia eye na meka. Hey, who I am today, I wish say in Kamiyesa about 20 years back. Sisi me ye humo bro me dwene daachio me kra me nwene me hu but Ghana de bibia ye sika when say omo develop Rome and emma Rome scano people ended up dying, resources, liquidity, anything that you can think of, but Rome is paying itself back. Are we as nation going to set up to build a Rome for our future generations yet to be born? Me conclude no. The current parliament, I'm tasking them to stop say omuye enyemahunu. There's a young man. Now me who say what dikan yes one na me modini ne because they no dey kan wa kwankwan nsa ofri ayi dem you finish me wonya papa me nsua odini ayi ofri dodo wa kwan so your friend say wo mu ye mienu wo mu nyina firi dodo wa
Sam George
na ba ko bi so ka ho go de to as whatever what is it called Okujeto as Okujeto black one. These two personalities and Nima ebema the younger generation because they might be my children or me wo fasifobi. But uma kuntai womuba no ma konkon ensemu hunu. I'm tasking them from today. Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO. Okay,
Minia. Mr. Yeah.
Mr. KOKU, Mr. ANYIDOHO, Mr. Wunimu, government party send copy come on say woman set up.
Okay.
Now woman chichiro mine. Not dachi. Woman enjoy. And that's how dachi. And ya in sakwa no. No woman can't asem papa. They do a man beko. Woman ko and for media scrutiny emra. Yem lay down rules for Ghanaian media and even the social media. Me da say.
Me so me da ase echa. Asafakani yatene Ghana komishwe ni omi ebusiafo se enedie emre no akotia yi papa ni senti ni se yensaka eye Mr. KOKU ANYIDOHO mane pense nsemi editre kakra na yakokutie yenso me abedwafo no so wo mo mfanse wo etirimupo efa eye Ghana 67 independent ye fa hodie eye mfie edusia enson ehun na echire na babaye adwenia jonkumu a wanya ne baby eko a nipa dodo no a ekase eye wudo ntene medika kae se yentwen na yemfa ensamanse krata emra na yehunu se sa ene kokoba no na mu bebre astate anase edikan atudini se eyewudo ena minima bejefo kan yenya yewo amano na emse na nsen no amane homene so enye se ya amane homene so ewudo ense ya ye free amano ni ekofie sansam etoto yenye pa ntama ye ahweyie obia kwa ensuo kra obenom no kra no ya wo ya hweye sanse wonim oniku abode bro wonya ni bibia wonya ne hweye na so na wanhwe ni ya na yaje wo kra efri wonsem ana bia beto yenua anase ya wofase John Kuma nti eno na aspake ensem no bebre nti ebia na wotwe ya na se busumi ko na wiye ye behu bebre esisi a yenya anomuaye bia na entu wuntia se etowa ana obehu se emu owimpa enye wunua enye wo bra enye wo intino obetumi aka na opese wo kabia nemum ebetuwa no se enye fediago nti ahwe yie ana yehia mamuina empire yebona mamiama obakukuduni wo faya Jessa Foka Francis Kwame Boafo ani ebusia sante ne nyina no se mupie na mokwa koye bibi mokwa ko didi a munye ahwe yie papa ana yemma Ghana no so enda yakoma pono so se obi ya de na se enya na yen so anasa yemfoa so ye behwe na ya yeniesa na efata yenye omamba pa mayenye se behwade ye behwade de na yintumi enya hwi nti wei ana mede bejam meda munyina se yaka manasi enyen na wotwe mu so ne ebesi bia no mede ma bi dwafo ye ne mu nyina ebesi enkondwa na yaka ho asem na wucha mu lakia na wa share send your medika ka no pepe nti Dady K 4 Stars Radio TV Atlanta Georgia USA you see near komhwehwe enyome aha ene emre ne eni ebesie na chese mosuso no mucha na afofo ate ne ekoso nti mabegefo mamia medase wo fayawo kwame amani kwame boafu eja Esafaka Francis ena mo hwe wiasa fa na nyina na Dady K metuchia ede mamu nyina ya bompa ese obia nyame bebo obia ho ban na adipa achi na wotwe mu so ni owo man obo ade wo ede man no yetumi etwa ne pepepe medamase bebre emrena so because if you want to see somebody who can make a change in yourself, just stand in the mirror, look at yourself and say, what can I do for myself? What can I do for my nuclear family, for my city state, and then the whole world? Then who say you can predict on your own and then you got it, because we don't say it, we don't get it. But take a step, determine, and you got there. Internal emenaso. I am out.